Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. We have been super busy with kidding season the past couple days. On Friday, I think we dropped 5 or 6. Saturday, we dropped 10. We took a break on Sunday. Yesterday was Monday, and we dropped 4, and today we've had 2. So we've been really busy. Haven't broke the camera out too much. Honestly, my time's been eat up with bad moms. We've got several moms. It's been problems for us. Trying to address that and battling through that, but we're going to give you an update on all the babies today. I don't see anybody looking like they're in labor this afternoon, but maybe we'll run across one. We're going to get the goats fence moved. I'll show you what I did for them over here by the pig pen to make sure our baby goats do not get into the pig pen and keep them safe. But we're up to 31 babies out of 18 does, which is pretty good for us. In the past couple years, we've been hitting about that 130 to 150% kidding rate. We've been slowly building our herd. We've been breeding young does that are having singles. This year we're still right around that. We're a little under 200, but we're doing good. We've have 3 sets of triplets. The first 3 sets of triplets I've ever remember having on the farm, and the most we've ever had is 1. But we've got three true sets of triplets, and then we have our doe that's taking care of our Spanish Kiko cross baby that you saw in our last 2 videos. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for all the comments on the first video of that baby. Whenever we were trying to figure out what was going on with the mom, we got a lot of comments, and from the majority of the comments it says listeriosis was our problem. I did mention in our last video that a vet tech told me that could be pregnancy toxemia. I really don't know 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but from what I've researched and from what all y'all guys told me, it does look like listeriosis. I don't understand how that one goat got it, because they get it from something they ate. All the goats are eating the same grass. All of them are eating the same hay, have the same water source and everything. So I'm not sure where it came from, if that's the case. But it is what it is at this point. Our mom that is taking care of that Spanish Kiko cross kid is doing a great job with all 3 babies. So I don't feel too bad about grafting another baby onto her. And actually, we had to graft a baby this morning. I'm gonna show you that baby here in just a second, and we're gonna take a look at all the baby goats this afternoon. So here's our little Spanish Kiko cross kid standing beside his step brother and step sister, I guess you call them, or adopted brother and sister. They're doing good. The mom's taking care of them. These 3 are always together, so they've bonded up pretty well. So that means the mom is doing her job, and I'm very, very thankful for her. Got several more babies sitting here. These 2 right here were actually born when I cut the camera off in the last video. They were born that afternoon, a little buck and a little doeling. They're doing great. This is that little doeling you saw in the last video. The mom was kind of standing off by herself whenever those triplets were born. She's doing good. We'll walk out here in the pasture. I went ahead and moved them over to this pasture yesterday afternoon. For the past week or so, they've had this pasture. We've been moving our temporary fence every day, giving them another little block. I still have the gate open to that pasture just because there's still a bunch of babies hanging out. You can see a couple laying right there, and then we got a mom that had a kid yesterday that's hanging out down there, just letting them all filter through. Eventually they'll all be in this side, and I'll shut the gate behind them. It's no need to get everybody stressed out moving babies just to get them in our one pen that we want them on. But they're doing good. Here's our first set of triplets that was born, and we got babies everywhere. I can't keep track of who's who. These are those doelings kids that you saw 2 videos ago. They're doing good. All the babies are doing really good. I've got some good moms for the most part, but we've got a handful that's just been giving us trouble, like this one right here. We're going to talk about her in a second, but she had a kid yesterday afternoon, dropped it. I watched her have it, stood up, walked off, never realized she had a baby. That is not something I want in the herd, whether she's a doeling or not. So she's definitely on the cull list. I mean, I can understand if she licks the baby off and just unsure about nursing or something like that, but to drop a baby and just to keep on walking, that's no bueno for me. But sheep girl's still fairly wide. Still waiting on her babies. Isn't that right, girl? But most part, we're getting there. We still got a couple big girls. The majority of our mature does have already kidded. We've got probably 4 or 5 more to go. Kind of looking around, seeing. Got maybe 5 or 6 more mature does to go, and several of our doelings still to go. This over here is what I did for our kids to make sure they do not get into the pen with the pigs. I just feel like that'll be a nightmare. I had somebody comment on one video, said their kids got into the pig pen one time and the pigs ate the ears and the tails off. So we don't want to experience that. So we went ahead and put up our Premier One pig netting in front of our pig pen. It's electrified just to reinforce that those babies do not go in here with hopefully our 2 pregnant sows and our boar, and also our feeder pigs over here. I've got this fence going all the way down and in front of their pen as well. But they had this strip yesterday afternoon. They about got it eaten down, and we're about to pull up this fence here in a minute and let them on to their next strip. So I mentioned earlier that we had 2 babies born today, and one of which is doing great, has a great mom, and the other one is not doing so well. I think it's a little premature. We've had to doctor on it a little bit, but we'll talk about her in a second. But first, this mom that I was pointing out, where'd she go? She's over here now. But that mom kidded out yesterday. Like I said, she dropped the baby and just kept walking, never paid it any attention. I pinned her up, put the baby in there with her. She never cleaned it off. I held her down, got some colostrum in the baby, and fed the baby colostrum by the bottle this morning. I got here about 6 o'clock this morning, and I fed it some colostrum. She was doing all right. But the mom still wasn't having anything to do with it. Then I came home a little bit later in the day, and I noticed one of our mature does was about to kid out. And so I was like, well, here's my opportunity to graft this one onto another mama, just because I do not want any bottle babies. We don't have time for bottle babies right now. I know it's part of it. I'm not going to let a baby suffer. If I need a bottle feed, I will. But we have our own child on the way in just about 3 to 4 weeks. So I can't be raising a newborn baby and a bunch of bottle babies. So that's not in the cards for us. If we have a bottle baby, we're going to find a new home for it. But this mama right here has taken this baby, just like our other doe took that Spanish Kiko cross baby. This is actually the baby nursing right here. So she's taking care of it. I locked her up just to give them a little more time to bond. This is her baby. It's an absolutely huge little boy. I can't really tell the difference until the 2 babies stand beside each other, but he is huge. She was struggling pushing him out, but as soon as she got him out, I ran up there with that baby, took the sack off of her baby and draped it over, or kind of smeared it over that other baby. She went to licking it, and just like that, she became the mom of that one as well. So it worked out perfect. Really didn't know what I was going to have to do with that baby, because obviously that mom wasn't going to do her job. So luckily that's working out so far. Let me show you another baby that looks a little bleak for us not having to bottle feed babies. Over on this side, we've got this really small little doeling. Came out of this doeling. This doeling, she looks small. I mean, she's the same age as the rest of our doelings, right at a little over a year old, which a lot of people don't breed their doelings. I understand that. We might be reconsidering that if we're having the luck that, if the luck that we've had so far with our doelings this year continues, we might be reconsidering that. But she was actually laid beside that baby about 6 a.m. this morning when I got here, but the baby had not been licked off. It was about 40 degrees outside. The baby's inside of its mouth was chilled. She was very weak. You could tell she had not stood up yet. So I took her down to the barn and put her underneath a heat lamp. And she sat underneath the heat lamp for probably about 4 hours. And then I finally got about 4 ounces of colostrum in her. She's since stood up, walked around. Brought her up here just a second ago when I walked up here and put her back in this pen with the mom. Held the mom. She did suck a little bit of colostrum out of the mom. So we'll just have to wait and see. This baby, like I said, it's pretty small. Its legs are really skinny. So I think she's a little premature. So we're going to keep an eye on her. She might end up going to the house with us tonight. I don't think this mom's going to take that baby. She might become a bottle baby to to a good friend of ours that's already offered to raise some babies on the bottle if they need to. So we're just going to keep eye on her. We're going to keep feeding her a little bit of colostrum here every couple hours. Just keep her going, give her some energy, and maybe, just maybe, this mom will do something. I doubt it, but we'll just have to wait and see. This baby over here is still the one that we're struggling getting the mom to take. I've been giving her a bottle about 3 times a day, locking the mom up at night with her and her twin brother. And while the twin brother is nursing, she does get some milk off the mom. It's just the mom's not going to let her nurse by herself. So slowly coming around. The baby, she's got plenty of energy. She gets up, walks around. She does her thing, but the mom is just not a good mom. So I talked a little bit about what struggles we're having with some does this year, especially on our doelings. Well, 2 doelings is all we've had trouble with. And one mature doe that has had kids before. That mom that has those twins that she's not taking care of, that one, she's had kids before, and she had one last year. She did all right job with, we had to pin her up at first, but she eventually started feeding the baby really well. And this year she had those 2 twins, and one of them was a little bit bigger than the other, and it got up, got moving. This one was a whole lot slower. And I really just think something was off with this baby. Still could be, I don't know, something mentally, just the way she acts sometimes. You can tell she's not all there. That could be part of it. But the doeling that had this baby right here behind me, that this mom adopted, is actually her daughter from last year. And this doeling that we've got pinned up now is out of her mom. So 2 sisters and a daughter from that line of goats is the ones causing all our problems right now. Their mom was a great mom. I got rid of her last year because she aborted, but she did a great job with all her kids, and I don't know what the deal is now, but obviously that line of goats are not working out for us. Unfortunately, I think we've got about 5 of them out of that goat that we sold for as granddaughters and daughters. So something to consider whenever we go to cull, whether we just get rid of that whole group of goats all together and move on with our business. We'll just have to wait and see as far as that. But other than the doeling part of it, there is a connection between all these moms that are causing us some trouble. This one baby is laid out. All right. This is that set of triplets y'all saw in the last video. They're doing good. All 3 of them are big old babies. Big old healthy babies. We'll go check out this mom. She had a kid yesterday afternoon, a little doeling, I think. I need to do some ear tagging this afternoon. But really like this doe. I like the bloodline of this doe. Her mom is that black doe I've got pinned up right now with that new adopted baby and her baby. And then I've got a full sister to that black-headed doe that's pinned up as well. They've always done good. This doe right here, she's going to be half boar, half Kiko, but a lot of Kiko in her, a lot of Kiko in her babies, and all that whole bloodline. So they're doing pretty good. Good looking little girl. Good mom. Every time you see that mom, she's right beside her baby. So there's several different ways to look at a goat that's only had one baby. A lot of people, if a goat only has one baby, they're selling it. They don't want the genetics of a goat that's just going to have one baby in their herd. I kind of feel the same way, but at the same time, a goat that's that good of a mom, I'll take over a goat that has twins that leaves both of them any day. Yes, one baby kind of pays the bills and pays for the mom for the year. That second baby makes you money. But at the same time, if you got a mom that drops twins every year, but she doesn't take care of those babies, you're having to spend time bottle feeding and all that kind of stuff. Where's your priorities? I think my priority right now is to start getting some better moms in this herd, especially after some of the trouble that we've had this year. And I've had this trouble for every year that I've ever had goats. It's just now that we've got so many kidding out, it kind of just magnifies itself, where there's some things that we need to make changes on when we're culling does, retaining doelings and all that stuff. And potentially even breeding doeling. So we're going to be looking at all that after kidding season. We've got several months before we put our bucks back in to make that decision. And so we'll just make that decision then. I guess I'm about to drop this wire. We're going to let these goats move on to their next little paddock. I'm kind of hoping somebody would kid out this afternoon, and maybe I could graft that little baby onto somebody else if they just have one, but we'll just have to wait and see. Don't really see anybody look like they're going to go into labor right now. Maybe we'll get lucky when that baby's a little bit stronger tomorrow. We keep feeding it some colostrum, and we can get it on to somebody else and relieve that doeling of her duties. In a couple of months, she'll be leaving the farm. But I guess that's enough talking about culling and all the struggles that we've had. It's just, that's what's on my mind right now. I'm gonna drop this fence. We're gonna move these goats on to a fresh new little paddock. So we got the girls moving on to their new fresh little spot for the day. I don't know if you can see that graze line right through there, but they'll be on here for the next day. I went ahead and got their next day's fence set up, but we're about to do some tagging. I think I got 4 kids I need to tag. I've got my tagger with the ear tag. If you missed our last video, I explained the numbers on our tags, how we use it. The 3 is for 2023. 15 is the 15th girl of yellow born. The yellow tags are for Clyde babies, and the green tags are going to be for Thunder babies. All our little Billy kids are getting a white, just generic tag, nothing fancy. These came from Premier One. It's got our scabies number, farm identification number on it, and the kids number. All right, so this is a girl. It's a Clyde daughter, so we got a yellow tag. We're about to see if we can catch her and put this ear tag in her real quick. I put all my ear tags in the right ear. I just always have. Whenever we set up our working system down at the barn that I still need to get drawn out and show y'all, we'll be working the goats from the right side, so it'll just be a whole lot easier. So that's why I'm going to continue to put the ear tags in the right ear, and for now on, whenever we build working systems or stuff like that, we'll keep that in mind to make sure that right ear is faced towards us. Come here. That's it. So that was the 15th girl from our buck Clyde. We need some more buck kids. I'm about to run out of ear tags for him. I think I've got 5 left of the yellow tags for the girls. If I need to, I can dip into some that we had left over last year and just renumber them, I guess. But that's the only one I've got today. I do have 2 Thunder daughters tagged, so there'll be a green tag. Come here, little girl. Won't take but a second. Oh, you don't belong in here. I'm gonna go ahead and ear tag this little girl as well. She's small. She's probably gonna be a bottle baby. We're gonna go ahead and ear tag her, and I'm gonna see if I can hold that mom down and let that baby get some colostrum real quick. Well, I don't know at what point River's knocked over my camera, but this little baby is starting to get a little cold back in its mouth. So I'm gonna take it back down to the barn, put her under the light, probably take her home with me and keep her in the garage for the night. under a light, keep her warm, get up a couple times throughout the night, give her a little bit of colostrum. Just very weak. I really think this baby is pretty premature. I went ahead and let the mom out. I don't think there's any hope of that mom taking this baby back. So just let her out, quit fighting that, I guess. Gonna take this baby down to the building here in just a second. But first I'm gonna go ahead and catch our mom that you saw in the last video that had triplets. We're gonna catch her up because, I mean, she's got some huge teats. The babies have got one side sucked down pretty good and keeping it down. We're gonna get her in, let these triplets get at that bigger teat and hopefully suck it down over a couple days, at least in the past. Once babies get on that teat and start sucking it a good bit, those teats will kind of shrink some. So let me go grab her. We also need to get the mom to our two twins. The one that's not doing too well, she's down here at my feet, looking for some milk. So we're gonna get her called up and let this baby aggravate her enough until she eats some. So we're gonna put this baby back in a warm spot for the time being, and then we'll take her down to the barn, put her underneath the light, see when we get her started, and hopefully maybe tomorrow somebody kid's out and only has one, and we can, hey, wake up, and we can get her a new mom. Hopefully we'll see if we can get her some energy first. It might take a couple days to really get her going. I think she's got enough life in her that we can get her turned around. But let me see if I can get these other moms called up real quick. So if they get off of it, you can see how big this one teat is. This one over here wasn't quite as big, but that's the only one they can really get their mouth on at this point. So this is a really good mom. She lets me do all this, but I've just been putting this teat in their mouth and letting them drink it down till it's flat, and then hopefully over time that'll go down and these babies will be able to utilize both teats on their own. We got her milked out pretty good. All those babies got a chance to eat. We'll do it again in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and keep her locked up so she's there when I get here first thing in the morning. I'm gonna open the gate to this mama and these two babies. She's doing a good job. I don't think I have to worry about her. I think that she has pretty much claimed that baby. That baby has been sucking on her all day long. So we'll go ahead and open that gate up. I've got to still go catch that doe that we're still having trouble with. That baby's learned whenever that mom's called up and that other baby's sucking, she can go behind and sneak in and get her a bite to eat. She's a little fighter. Wish this mom would just go ahead and give in. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for us this afternoon. Everybody's taken care of. I'm about to take this little girl home, see if I can get her a little bit warmed up, see if I can get her to eat something, just give her some more strength, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with her tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. We're gonna do our best. Ain't that right? I think we can handle it. But I really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all on the next one.